the idea is to make a piece of music that is of indeterminate length and indeterminate score. I was influenced initially in thinking about the water chimes of ancient Japanese gardens. You have simple musical instrument that's composed of a bowl sunk in the ground, and as water drips onto it, it makes a resonant sound. It's a very beautiful, simple sound, and it's designed to focus people's concentration on not just that sound, but the ambient sounds of the environment. I thought about all the holes that the countryside's shot through by old mine shafts, natural fissures, old wells. I thought, well, maybe I could find a hole in the ground and I could fill it with different resonant objects, all carefully chosen for their relative pitches, and just then let the forces of nature play them. The composition lies in the careful choices made of the instruments and their tunings. The basic sounds themselves are going to be tuned percussion, but tuned percussion played primarily by water. So you'll hear a tone, but you'll hear a wateriness in the tone. And then the question came, well, how do you amplify it? And I thought of an old gramophone with its horn, which are kind of beautiful sculptural objects in themselves. So I then evolved this idea that a horn would rise up out of the hole in the ground to amplify the sounds, and that in itself would be a strong visual element in the piece. It would have to harmonise with the landscape, and it brings up all kinds of connotations in itself. The sounds will add together to create new timbres, so sometimes they might sound a bit like a choral voice or a flute or an organ tone. I like the idea of coming across this in the landscape unexpectedly. It's a piece made for people who know it's there, who travel to see it, but equally it's made just for people to come across. If you were just to be walking through some woodland in which this piece was located, your first clue would be you'd start to hear something in the soundscape that was maybe out of place. As you got nearer, it would become evident that something was definitely playing some music. Soon after that, you'd catch sight through the trees of this horn coming out of the ground. So it would be a kind of exciting thing to stumble across and to wonder what you'd come across. So the whole piece is played by nature. It relies on no technology, no upkeep by human beings. It only relies on the existence of the planet and the weather systems. And so this goes full circle really right back to, let's say, the temple gardens of Japan, and brings music right back to something which is part of a process of nature. Depends on the cycles of the seasons, on the weather and the landscape.